Greetings, Portland. The name is Kevin Duclairon, and I want to take a few minutes of your time, both those of you in the police department as well as in the government and the people walking around. A few minutes ago, Melinda reminded me that I needed to sum up my bank accounts from the different banks that I have because it didn't sum up to $35,000. Now, I'm not one to brag about money that I have, but after 40 years in this country, that's not a whole lot. Comparison to Donald Trump, if you sum up all of the hotels and the $400,000 he makes per year for 4 years, that's over $1 million, okay? 2 years in itself, it's $800,000. And I don't know if the wife gets a $400,000 check by herself. So I'm not exactly sure how it works in Congress. I overheard that unless I take a shower, I can't walk into a bank. They'll close the accounts. Every time I walk into a bank, I feel like I'm in pins and needles because I don't have a home address that they can use that's here in Portland. The address that I have is in across the river, and it's not residential, but it's also on my driver's license. So, you know, Union Bank is where I bank now, and they have workers who have done some extensive research on where I live and all of my personal information and have dropped me hints that they don't approve. Well, somehow or another, the bank is now closing, and it was supposed to be in May, but they moved up the time to April 8th. And now I have to skedaddle out of the bank box that I had. I tried to get a new bank box with Chase Bank yesterday. The appointment was set on Monday, but due through complications and their switching of staff and God knows what other probably evil that I did not know about, the box was never open. It was supposed to be for a 10 by 10, coming out of a 5 by 10. You ever feel like somebody is trying to control your life, control the income that you earn, control the level of your living, control your sex life, control your thoughts, control where you work, control your friends, control your associations, control everything that you are, everything that you want to become, and everywhere that you want to go. You can't go to this country because it's only for Europeans. You can't rise up to this level because it's only for Europeans. You can't have this much in your bank account because only the Europeans are allowed to have that kind of money. You can't marry this kind of woman because it's only for a European. I don't understand. Where is that coming from? Is that coming from God or is that coming from the devil? You can't say these things. You can't worship this way. All of these restrictions. And I thought to myself, how am I supposed to live this American life? I sort of feel like immigration didn't give me a book of do's and don'ts. This is what you can do in America as a Haitian, and this is what you can't do in America as a Haitian. Now that you've been naturalized, all of that freedom that you had as a foreigner is taken away from you, and you must now live as an African American with the restrictions that African Americans have. Unfortunately, I'm not African American, so I don't know what the restrictions are. Nobody handed me a book of do's and don'ts, cans and can'ts. So how am I supposed to know what I am allowed to do, what I'm not allowed to do? I thought the Constitution gave me the freedom to be an American. I thought the Bible gave me the freedom to be a Christian. But it seems to me Dr. John MacArthur goes beyond the scriptures. He pushes the scriptures aside. As soon as you step off of Grace Community Church property, his Klan hat comes on or his Klan heart comes on, and all the restrictions of what a Negro can do or what a Negro cannot do. And it's by what? Clan authority, not biblical authority, right? It's by clan authority, whether you can or you can't. I mean, one phone call out of that guy, and man, you're pretty much stuck. You know what I mean? Stuck and can't do nothing about it. Remember Jesus, when he was here, he was stuck, or he was pegged. He was pegged to a cross. I showed this to them yesterday. He was pegged to a cross with one of these. I feel like I'm pegged every single day. No job to go to that pays. No home to go to, right? I'm a missionary without a church behind me. And the church that is behind me doesn't want me to be the lead because I'm not white. I'm not like you. I don't look like you. I don't sound like you. My eyes are not the color of your eyes. My skin are not the color of your skin. Therefore, the God of creation doesn't want me to be the lead over you or anybody else. How does it sound so far to be walking in those shoes of what you can and cannot do, where you can and cannot go, and feeling like you've been pegged like the Messiah? Remember the Messiah, Jesus? They nailed his ass to the cross like this, right? They pegged him on the left with this, they nailed him on the right, and they nailed his feet together. He's pegged. He can't go nowhere, right? The feet are pegged, the hands are pegged, the arms are pegged. There's nothing you can do as a human being. But you know, as a God, if he walked on water, healed the sick, raised the dead, right? But he laid down his life so that you and I could be forgiven for sins. Why am I saying this today? Why is it that I can't walk into a bank and open up a bank box without somebody like Gabriel Franklin wanting to know how much I have in the account? Why did I need Melinda's permission or instructions to go and get, you need to sum up all of your receipts from each of the banks on what you have savings so that it shows the amount that you have. Who am I talking to here? I mean, I'm no longer under MacArthur's authority. I'm no longer under Gabriel Franklin's authority. I was removed from under Gabriel in 1983 by Guy Franklin. Cardinal McCluskey's group home for boys removed me from under Guy Franklin in 85. John MacArthur writes me a letter, 4 pages, dismissing me in 1999. So who am I answering to here? That's sitting in the background, masterminding and determining whether I can come up or come down, whether I can, what it is that I can and cannot do, where I can and cannot go, how much money I can and cannot have. Why am I dealing with an American Klansman who's sitting in the background playing God? I'm not sure anybody wants to answer that. But you as a European group have a system of diminishment, reduction, right? You have an entire system that says the Negroes who submit to slavery and honors the Queen of England are allowed to come up as slaves. But the Negroes who are straight and just takes the presidency and the Congress and don't honor the Queen of England have to come down. Last night, I went into the police station here to talk to a man behind the desk. No idea who he is. I don't know if he was an officer or not. He might have just been a volunteer. And I said to him, how am I supposed to respond to the fact that I make an appointment with a bank to open a bank account, right, with $300, a savings account, and to get a 10 by 10 box so I could remove my property out of Union Bank because that was what their letter stated. And they've been telling me since November of last year I need to skedaddle, right? So now what am I supposed to do when you have a John MacArthur, going in and out of your bank box? You have a Gabriel Franklin counting your dollars. She wants to be paid for the sex that she's giving to my body, which I did not ask for. I'm dealing with a whore, right? I'm dealing with a whore who's asking for money for sex that she gave to my body that I didn't ask for. That doesn't make sense to me. I didn't ask for the sex. Why is she giving it to my body? Now she wants to know how much I'm worth so that what? You as an American government, you as a police department, you as a Congress could take my money and give it to her as payment for sex I didn't ask for? I don't understand. Anyway, the gentleman behind the desk told me, I'm sorry, I can't give you any instructions. I don't have anything to say to you. You know, I can't help you. So he can't help me with the raping. He can't help me with figuring out how to deal with an American Klansman who follows me everywhere and controls every aspect of my life, including my banking, right? So what is good? What's the purpose of having a police department? Do I need to kill someone, or does somebody needs to kill me in order to resolve this issue with your boy, John MacArthur? I'm not exactly sure here how this is supposed to end, right? I mean, I have specific instructions here before leaving Earth, the Bible, that tells me how I'm supposed to act like a Christian and love my neighbor, right? Love one another. But then I'm dealing with a MacArthur and a Franklin who won't stop molesting and holding me back. So, you know, this man has me pegged by the homosexuals. This woman has me pegged with what's in between her legs. You as a government have me pegged with we don't have the answers for you, right? We don't have the answers. We're sorry, we can't help you. You don't have any proof that a crime is being committed. Therefore, we can't do nothing to help you. But I'm supposed to acknowledge this Haitian woman, right? I'm supposed to acknowledge this so-called queen through the Haitian woman. How is that supposed to help me in my day-to-day life? That doesn't make any sense to me. So I've written this note here, which says repent and believe, right? Repent and believe. I'm not worried about those protesters. They can protest if they have an issue with your government, or they can protest if they have an issue with their countrymen, which is what my situation here is. I have a Haitian woman that you are holding and giving permission to suck on my genital every night. Why is that, Americans? Why did she do that last night, right? After I had spoken to the police department about it. Why is she getting permission from you to suck my penis? And if I don't confer with what she's doing, it's a trip back to Port-au-Prince. This doesn't make any sense to me, okay?